My beloved soul, listen carefully now, for what I am about to whisper into the depths of your spirit is not merely a message. It is a turning point, a sacred crossroad in the unseen realms that few recognize until it is almost too late. You have arrived at a divine intersection that heaven has watched forming in your life for years. And Archangel Michael stands before you with sword drawn not to fight your enemies, but to cut through the confusion that has tangled your path and kept you circling the same patterns again and again, calling it delay when it was actually distraction, calling it protection when it was actually fear disguised as wisdom. The truth is, your destiny has been calling your name since the day you were born, but the volume of the world and the whispers of wounds left unattended have drowned it out in certain seasons, making you believe that the vision you once held so clearly in your heart was just an illusion, just a dream for someone stronger, braver, or more anointed. But I, Michael, have been appointed to stand at this critical gate of your life, to deliver this exact message to you. Not to the masses, not to the ones who gave up, but to you, the one who still feels the pulse of promise inside your spirit, even when everything else around you feels stuck or silent. I need you to understand this deeply. What lies ahead of you is so profoundly sacred that it cannot be accessed until you choose. Not until someone chooses for you. Not once the conditions are easier or the timing is perfect. No, it begins the moment you say yes to the thing your soul has been quietly avoiding, the choice your spirit keeps circling but hasn't fully stepped into because the risk feels too high, the cost too great, the outcome too uncertain. But I tell you this, the destiny does not wait forever. Doors that heaven opens are not always permanent. They are divine windows, and some of them are opening now, but you must walk through them before they close. There is a holy pressure on your life in this season because the angels assigned to you know what is on the other side of this decision, and we are not speaking to you in riddles anymore because the time for delay has passed. This is not about right or wrong. It is about alignment or misalignment. It is about stepping into the flow of what God already prepared for you, or continuing to resist it and risking the momentum of your entire next chapter. You do not see the fullness of what is waiting, but we do. We see the healing, the abundance, the purpose, the divine relationships, the restoration of years lost, the explosive breakthroughs that only unlock when you step into the version of yourself that says, I am no longer a prisoner of fear. I am no longer the child of trauma. I'm no longer the abandoned soul begging for crumbs. I am the chosen. I am the called. And I am the one who will not miss what God has ordained for me. But you must choose. This decision will not be made with your logic, but with your spirit. It will not be confirmed by comfort, but by clarity. And I am bringing that clarity to you now. Not just in this message, but in the next 72 hours, signs will begin to accelerate. People will reveal themselves. Doors will either swing open or slam shut. The options before you will not look the same. Pay close attention, for this is not coincidence. This is divine choreography. And you will feel a pull in one direction so strong, so persistent, so undeniable, that to ignore it will require spiritual blindness. But you are not blind. You are awakening. You are remembering. You are shedding what was never yours to carry. And even if your heart is trembling, heaven will hold your hand. Because one choice, one real yes, one bold leap, one act of faith can reroute your entire timeline and unlock the floodgates of the very destiny your ancestors prayed you would reach. You're not at the end. You're not failing. You're standing on the threshold of something so much bigger than you can see. But it will only birth through obedience. Not perfection. Obedience. You don't need to know all the steps. You just need to take the next one. And we will go before you, behind you, beside you, until what felt impossible becomes inevitable. And now, beloved, as you hold this sacred awareness in your trembling spirit, I must take you deeper, not just into understanding, but into surrender, into the very space where decisions are no longer just mental strategies, but spiritual agreements, covenants written in light between your soul and the divine plan that was etched into your being long before your first breath. You must know this. Your destiny is not passive. It is not some distant finish line you stumble across accidentally after surviving long enough. Your destiny is a living force that responds to the posture of your heart and the purity of your surrender. And right now, Archangel Michael says the heavens are leaning in to see how you will move, because you have cried out for a miracle, for restoration, for your purpose to be revealed. But the answer has always been tied to one critical act of obedience that you have resisted, not because you are lazy or unworthy, but because part of you still fears what might be required if you truly step into the identity God crafted for you. You are being asked to give up a version of yourself that was built on survival and step into a version that was built for glory. That decision you've been circling in your mind, the one that keeps returning in dreams, in whispers, in strange confirmations and undeniable signs, is not an accident. The reason it won't leave you alone is because the entire rhythm of your life is waiting for you to say yes, not just with words, but with action, with movement, with trust. And let me tell you what happens in the invisible when you finally align with what God is asking of you. Entire chains begin to fall off your lineage. Generational curses begin to crumble. Delays that haunted your bloodline begin to dissolve. Resources are released that had been stored in heaven waiting for your yes. Favor begins to chase you in ways that shock the people who once doubted your worth. The very environment around you begins to transform, because when heaven finds someone who will choose purpose over comfort, the earth must respond. But here is what you must understand with every cell of your spirit. You cannot step into that dimension if you keep trying to drag your old identity through the new door. You cannot bring your false agreements with fear, your hidden loyalties to people God has already removed, your silent vows of unworthiness into a space built for breakthrough. The truth is, what you're being asked to do may not make sense to your earthly mind, but it is clear to your spirit. You already know what this decision is. You already feel the pull. You have felt it for months, and still you wait, hoping for more signs, more validation, more reassurance. But heaven is not interested in enabling your delay any longer. This is the season of movement. This is the hour where angels are being dispatched to guard the chosen who say yes. And Michael is standing as a witness, with flaming sword and blazing wings, waiting for your soul to come into alignment with what God already said. Because you can pray for a new life all you want, but if your choices still agree with the old one, nothing will change. You cannot manifest freedom while choosing bondage. You cannot call it faith if you only act once it's safe. And God is saying, this is the moment where I will honor your leap, not your logic. I will bless your surrender, not your strategy. But you must let go of what I never gave you. That relationship that drains you, that cycle that keeps repeating, that opportunity that seems good but keeps stealing your peace. It is not part of your next chapter. It was the decoy, and you already know it. You already feel the discomfort, the shrinking of your spirit every time you try to convince yourself to stay in a space you've outgrown. My beloved, you're not being punished. You're being called higher. And yes, there will be grief in this decision. There will be mourning for what you thought would work out. But heaven promises you this. There is something so much better that cannot be revealed until you release what you're gripping. You cannot catch the blessings with closed fists. You must release. You must walk forward. You must believe, not because it's easy, but because your very calling depends on it. The angels around you are not silent anymore. They are loud. They are present. They are surrounding you with divine evidence, synchronistic confirmations, prophetic nudges, dreams that wake you up in the middle of the night because your soul knows what your mind is still arguing against. And this, right now, is the beginning of your greatest awakening. But only if you obey, only if you move, only if you choose, not later, not when you feel ready, but now, because your destiny is already stretching its hand toward you, asking you one final time, will you rise? And now, beloved soul, Archangel Michael leans even closer, and his voice, though fierce with divine fire, is trembling with urgency, because what heaven is about to reveal to you is not just a word of guidance. It is a revelation that will split your old self in two and show you the real reason you felt restless, unseen, and spiritually torn for so long. You have not been weak. You have been wrestling. You have not been stagnant. You have been suspended between two timelines, one where you cling to what's familiar and another that has already been written in glory but demands your obedience to begin. And Michael is showing you now that your spirit has already been walking in places your body has yet to enter. You felt the tension. You felt the stretch. You felt the weight of being somewhere in between, where nothing quite fits anymore and your old desires feel hollow, but the new direction still feels hidden. But this is not confusion. This is transition. This is the sacred breaking that always happens when your destiny is pressing through the cracks of your current identity, and heaven is demanding that you become who you were before the world lied to you. Michael wants you to understand that the decision before you is not small. It is not surface level. It is not about choosing between two jobs or two cities or two lovers. It is about choosing your soul's alignment over your ego's comfort. It is about deciding to let the version of you that was built on rejection, fear, shame, and delay finally die so the one born of divine truth can rise. And yes, it will cost you. It will cost you your illusions. It will cost you your attachments to people who never had the capacity to love the real you. It will cost you the comfort of hiding behind excuses. But Archangel Michael assures you, what you receive in return will make every loss feel like a divine exchange. You will not lose anything heaven intends you to keep. The people who leave after you say yes were never meant to walk with you into your assignment. The doors that close were only ever meant to teach you how to knock louder on the ones that matter. And that fear that whispers, what if it all falls apart? That is the last lie trying to keep you from the threshold of your breakthrough. Because here is the hidden truth Michael is revealing now. The decision you must make is the very thing your spirit agreed to before you were born. That's why it feels so weighty, so familiar, so terrifying. It is tied to your calling. It is your sacred contract. And for too long, you have let doubt negotiate away your divine inheritance. For too long, you have looked for permission from people who couldn't even comprehend your purpose. For too long, you've waited for the perfect timing, forgetting that miracles don't wait for comfort. They explode in moments of surrender. And so the angelic hosts are surrounding you now, not to scare you, but to stir you. Because the moment you decide, truly decide, with no backup plan, no fallback strategy, no half-hearted attempt, the skies will shift. The atmosphere around your life will change. Delays will begin to unravel. Prayers that were once blocked by your indecision will finally flood through. Your name will be mentioned in rooms you've never entered. Opportunities will be magnetized to your faith. But all of it depends on one choice. That choice is not about striving. It is about surrender. It is about saying, God, I trust you enough to follow even when I cannot see the road ahead. I trust you enough to give up what I want for what you have already ordained. I trust that whatever I lose in this process, you will restore in ways I cannot imagine. This is not about punishment, it is preparation. This is not about fear, it is freedom. And Archangel Michael pleads with you. Don't wait until the pain of staying stuck becomes greater than the fear of moving forward. Do not waste another season circling the same mountain of indecision, doubt, and spiritual delay. You are not crazy. You are not broken. You are chosen. And the reason it has felt so hard lately is not because you're losing. It's because you're on the edge of the most significant spiritual shift of your life. The enemy wouldn't fight you this hard if your next season wasn't drenched in divine favor. The resistance is proof that heaven is close. In your next chapter, it's not just about blessings, it's about becoming. It's about carrying a frequency that changes atmospheres. It's about showing others what it looks like when someone finally chooses heaven over fear, purpose over pleasing others, alignment over approval. The entire spiritual realm is waiting on your yes. And this decision, it doesn't just unlock your breakthrough. It will ripple through generations, freeing your bloodline from patterns you never deserved to inherit. You were born to end cycles. You were born to ignite a revolution of healing through your obedience. So breathe, beloved. The angels are holding space for you. And Michael? He's still watching, sword drawn, wings ablaze, declaring over you in the language of heaven itself. This is your time. Archangel Michael stands before you now with a solemn intensity, his radiant armor shimmering with celestial light that pierces through the darkness surrounding your soul, whispering the gravity of the choice you face. A decision so profound it will ripple through every fiber of your being and alter the very fabric of your destiny in ways you cannot yet comprehend. This decision is not merely about what you desire or what the world tells you to pursue. It is the crossroads where your spirit's true path diverges, where the veil between what has been and what could be grows thin, and the future itself waits with bated breath for your command. Michael's voice echoes inside your heart, steady yet urgent, reminding you that this moment is sacred, ordained from the heights of heaven, and that hesitation is no longer an option. The forces of light and shadow are both gathered around this pivotal point, watching silently as you summon the courage to choose with clarity, faith, and unwavering resolve. This choice is not about instant gratification or fleeting success. It is about eternal alignment, the fulfillment of your divine blueprint, and stepping into the version of yourself that you were always meant to become. You have been tested, prepared through trials, healed from past wounds, and shown glimpses of this path in dreams, signs, and quiet whispers from a spiritual realm. Yet now, the mantle is yours alone to bear. Archangel Michael reveals that the decision you make will ignite a powerful chain reaction, unlocking doors that have been sealed, revealing hidden gifts you never knew you possessed, and attracting allies and opportunities that align with your highest good. But it also demands sacrifice, the shedding of illusions, the release of toxic ties, and the courage to walk away from comfort zones that no longer serve your soul's expansion. The battle within is fierce, but Michael stands at your side, wielding his mighty sword of truth, ready to cut through doubts and fears that cloud your vision. He urges you to listen deeply to the still, small voice within, the voice that resonates with divine wisdom and knows the true cost and reward of this decision. You are not alone in this. Your guardian angels, ancestors, and the entire celestial host are united, sending waves of protection and guidance to ensure you do not falter. Understand that the path chosen now will not only shape your personal journey, but will also impact those around you, your family, friends, and the collective energy of the world in ways seen and unseen. This is the sacred moment where your free will meets divine destiny, and the door swings open to a future radiant with purpose and possibility. Archangel Michael warns that ignoring this call or delaying your decision risks stagnation, spiritual depletion, and missed blessings that may not return. Yet, stepping boldly forward will awaken a power within you that sets your soul ablaze with passion, clarity, and divine favor. Trust in the process, trust in yourself, and above all, trust in the heavenly forces guiding you toward this monumental choice. The universe is aligning now, sending signs through synchronicities, numbers, and dreams to help you discern the right path. Your heart is the compass, your faith the fuel, and Archangel Michael the warrior who will fight alongside you until the victory is claimed. This is the moment your destiny has been waiting for. The decision you make now will echo through eternity, defining not just your life, but the legacy you leave behind and the light you shine for generations yet to come.